dear audience members with no programs. We're very sorry. This event is being produced by Overture Foundation. And we did not have anything to do with you not having a program. I'm just going to put my flute down first. We want to welcome you to the Music Awards. This program is a long time coming, and it is something that we're very proud of presenting in Madison for the first time. So we're going to tell you a little bit about the things that you would have read if you had a program.
First off, we have three amazing poets with us this evening. First, we have Catherine Jaco, a Madisonian, originally from Britain, but a wonderful poet who lives here in town, and she's going to be the first poet you'll hear this evening. Then we have Mark Belair, who's a poet from New York City and a longtime friend and colleague of Stephanie's, and I've stayed in his house. Great, wonderful poet. Then after intermission, you'll hear Max Garland, who is the former poet laureate of Wisconsin, and also another amazing poet. All three of our poets have books available, so if you're interested, you can purchase their books at halftime or after the show, and they'll sign them for you. And we encourage you to do that, support the arts.
When we do this concert, the idea that we had is to make a very seamless event for you. So the music and the poetry will be woven together. And we'd like to ask you to hold your applause until the intermission, which is, I'm going to tell you when that's going to be. And that's going to be the same for the second half, to hold your applause until the end of the second half. You know that we're from Bach Dancing and Dynamite Society. Jeffrey Sykes is a pianist. He's going to be playing this evening. I'm Stephanie Jutt. I'm a flutist. We're partners in the Bach Dancing and Dynamite Society Chamber Music Festival, which happens every June in Madison. And we have a lot of materials here about Bach Dancing and Dynamite Society, which happens in the Playhouse downstairs. And we're really looking forward to this year's season as well. Find out all about that. And we'll be around afterwards to answer questions. As we go through the evening, the poets will be announcing the titles of their poems. So you'll be able to ask them about particular things after the concert's over. So I don't think there'll be too much problem kind of following the program. I'm just going to tell you the composers that we've chosen for the evening.
Yes, so for each particular poet, we've thought that it would be great to develop a little sonic world for their poems. Listening to their poems, we got this idea that, wow, these poems have this quality of sound that might be well matched by this particular music. And that's how we made the choices that we've made. So with Catherine Jaco's poetry, we've chosen music by Benjamin Britten, some of his arrangements of folk songs from the British Isles. And there are, I think, 5 or 6 of them that we'll play as she reads, during the course of her reading through several poems. For Mark Belair, we thought that the music of Copland would be a great fit. So we are playing the duo for flute and piano of Aaron Copland, one of his last major pieces, and we think that's also a really great fit. Then for Max Garland, we used some music of Samuel Barber, which has this sort of quality of both sort of jazzy sophistication and really cool, interesting, wonderful harmonies. We used a set of songs that we've transcribed for the flute, a set of songs called the Mélodie Passagère. They're songs that Barber originally wrote in French, but they work beautifully on the flute. Framing the concert as a whole, we wanted to sort of set a frame, like we have here. And we decided we would play one of our very favorite pieces, the Sonata in F minor of Brahms. This is a sonata that Brahms originally wrote for clarinet and piano. We've transcribed it for flute and piano, and we think it works really beautifully. And it has a wonderful storytelling quality that can sort of carry through a narrative through the whole evening. So we hope that you enjoy these selections.
Well, you'll be hearing the first 2 movements of that Brahms sonata in the first half, and the second 2 movements of the Brahms sonata in the second half. So it should sort of encompass the whole evening, would you say? Okay, so then another fabulous aspect of this concert is we have visuals. It's a visual installation. Carolyn Hallingborn and John Frauchi came up with these wonderful frames, and we have projections, which are small watercolors, which have been projected into this very large size scrim by the artist Bruce Crownover. And they are beautiful, small landscapes. You wouldn't believe that these paintings are really only about this big, and they fill this screen so beautifully. So the paintings are by Bruce Crownover. Let's see. I guess that's probably it of the laundry list.
Of the laundry list, I think that's it.
Books available after. All right, so then the last thing we're going to say, and then we'll start, is that I conceived of this concert because I feel like poetry and music really belong together. And maybe only in recent years they've been separated into books or a concert. But tonight we're going to be honoring that long and sacred tradition of poetry and music, which I think truly are belong together and are going to be intermingled throughout this concert. So without further ado, let's begin.